Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be breaking down Matt Ryan in a film session and breaking down what he brings to this Colts offense. Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. It would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video and I hope you enjoy. So earlier today, Matt Ryan was traded from the Atlanta Falcons, the former franchise quarterback of the Falcons, to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for a third-round pick. And this, is the exact deal that Colts fans wanted. They wanted Matt Ryan in the building because I think he can do very similar things to what Philip Rivers did a couple years ago at a higher level. Remember, Rivers took them to the playoffs, and although they didn't get far in the playoffs that year, I still think that Matt Ryan and what he's been able to do over his career is going to be massive for this Colts team. If you look at the stats last year, they're not super pretty. In 17 games, just shy of 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. But there were a lot of issues with that Falcons roster. I think with the Colts, he's going to be much better. Let's dive right into the film session to show what he brings to the table for this Colts offense. And let's start right here on this play. You're going to see Cordarrelle Patterson working one-on-one on the outside, and he's going to kind of just try and slip past this defender and head to the end zone. Matt Ryan knows a couple things right here. One, down by 2, not the biggest deal in this current situation, but it's 3rd and 13. You got to push the ball to the sticks, which are basically the end zone. So more or less, it's 3rd and goal from the 13.5-yard line is pretty much what's happening. So he knows that he has to get the ball to the end zone here. He notices this one-on-one matchup here on the bottom of your screen, and he likes Cordarrelle Patterson a lot. If you look at Cordarrelle Patterson's stats last year, that's all that you need to know. Patterson was targeted a lot. The ball was in his hands a lot for this Falcons team. So on this play right here, Patterson is just going to get past his defender, and that's kind of where Matt Ryan wants to go with the football, right? He's looking this way the entire way, sees that there's a little bit of separation as Patterson gets to the outside, and is anticipating the space that he can throw the ball into. He's a veteran quarterback, so he knows where he needs to put the ball, and he knows where the defense is and where the defense isn't. And if you look at the defense right here, these two safeties are playing very much in the middle of the field. They're playing very much in the middle of the field. So although that it is a cover 2 look, so they're going to move a little bit more out to the outsides, right? Remember, it's still a 5-wide formation, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers, which means that these safeties don't have the luxury of moving all the way out here, because that means the middle of the field is going to be wide open for all these, especially the middle guys, to run into. So what happens here is basically you have an isolated wide receiver versus cornerback matchup here, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So Matt Ryan sees that, anticipates that, and throws that ball way over the top here. But he also does a really good job of eyeing down this receiver right here, because what that does is that moves this safety up into this receiver's path. Here you're going to see that safety move up, and that clears all the space towards the outside here. So I'll show you that too. So Matt Ryan almost fakes the pass by almost looking right at this receiver here, and you'll see that as this ball's in the air, this safety has been pushed down. So it's really simply a one-on-one matchup on the outside. This is elite ball placement on the back shoulder, allowing Cordarrelle Patterson to go up and grab it, and then using his body to secure the football and put 2 feet in bounds. This is an excellent play by Matt Ryan, just an excellent throwback by Matt Ryan, anticipating where the space isn't going to be, but also baiting the safety to come down by kind of trying to force the ball here almost, but really wanting to go with the ball over the top into the end zone. So really a nice play here by Matt Ryan. And this is another play like that about Matt Ryan, He, for a guy who's not really able to run the football that well, he's kind of, able to run the football a little bit. He's kind of able to have that a little bit of escapability and the ability to get to the pocket and pick up some extra yards. On this play here, pocket's simply going to break down. Chase Young's coming to the outside. There's pressure here, and Matt Ryan doesn't have anywhere to go with the football. All these receivers are more or less locked up, and there's really nowhere to even try and force the football. But he knows that he needs to stay alive, right? It's fourth quarter, 21 seconds left. You got to have a positive play here. And what Ryan does is steps up, right? Sees that there's nowhere to throw the football, steps up, and keeps running for the first down to try and get the Falcons forward. They don't have a timeout, which isn't great. And honestly, the read in this situation is, you get to the line quickly and you throw the ball on the ground, right, to stop the clock. You clock the ball. But even then, I just want to take the game situation out of it for a second. This is just a really good play by Matt Ryan, showing that he's capable of making guys miss an open space and picking up yards with his legs. He's got some essence of mobility, and he had a couple rushing touchdowns last year, so he's got that ability to move his legs. That's not what he's known for, but he can do it, and that's important at the NFL quarterback position today. And now I've got a mix of three plays here from the Falcons versus Dolphins game last season that I think really highlight what Matt Ryan does really well outside the numbers. I think Matt Ryan is a fantastic quarterback inside the numbers, but when I'm talking about outside the numbers, Ryan really excels too because he's able to put footballs into the spots that they need to be in. So last year he had a 67% completion percentage, which wasn't the highest of his career. In 2012, he actually led the NFL in completion percentage with 68.6%, but he's been a 69% guy before, and career-wise, he's been 65.5%. So last year was above average for his career. Nonetheless, I love what he's able to do with putting the football into the spots that it needs to be in on deeper throws, especially to the outside. Here you're going to see the tight end matched up one-on-one on the outside, Kyle Pitts versus Eric Rowe here. And that's a good matchup for the Falcons to really target. So, on this play here, Ryan's going to drop back. He's going to sense the pressure in his face. He's going to see the one-on-one matchup on the outside, the little bit of separation, especially to the outside part of the field. And look at where he puts this football. This is put on the absolute money, coming down right into the bucket here for Kyle Pitts to just grab it out. And reach out with one hand for the catch and then get the 2 feet in bounds to pick up the first down and move the chains. This is just an excellent throw, excellent ball placement here on the deep throw with touch here by Matt Ryan. Really, really nice read too. And he also does it here again too. I mean, this is another great play. Once again, seeing Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan doing what he does best, seeing Kyle Pitts one-on-one once again lined up, and he's going to run a similar route towards that outside edge here. And he's going to sense that, read that, see the separation, and once again put this ball in an absolute perfect spot for Kyle Pitts to go up and get it. Once again, it's all about the ball placement with Matt Ryan, and he does it so well here, and this is what he's going to really bring to the Colts next year, that elite ball placement on those outside throws, on those back shoulder throws. That's what a veteran quarterback gives you, who's been an all-pro quarterback before, who's been an MVP before, who's been a Pro Bowler before. That's what he's going to give you to this Colts offense. I really, really like what he's able to do in that regard. But he also has the ability to take the top. He also has the ability to take the top off a defense. On this play here, he's going to have Russell Gage just running a deep post route towards the middle of the field, and you're going to see where Matt Ryan throws this football. Right? Not only is this football absolutely on the money, but notice how Russell Gage has kind of gotten past these two defenders. That's Xavier Howard and that's Javon Holland. And you see Matt Ryan is going to see all this empty space over here, and that's exactly where he's throwing the football into. He's not trying to force his receiver too far this way or too far this way, but he's taking it right through the heart of the defense, right into this middle of the open space, and throwing this ball perfectly into the arms of Gage to go up and grab it. And it's in stride, it's perfectly thrown, it's well thrown, away from defenders for the touchdown. This is an excellently thrown ball from Matt Ryan for the score. He can really take the top off the defense too. He can make every deep throw in the book. Matt Ryan's got a great arm. But I also love his decision-making skills here. He's going to want to target this receiver right here on kind of a curl route. And I love his arm power and accuracy and arm strength when it comes to these short intermediate throws in between the numbers. I think Matt Ryan's really good in between the numbers. And when I'm talking about in between the numbers, I'm talking about in between these yellow lines here. So on this play right here, it's play action play. Matt Ryan knows he wants this guy, wants to pick up the quick, an easy first down. And you're going to see, it's going to be more or less man-on-man coverage, but these guys are going to kind of drop back into coverage where there's going to be kind of pressure all there. And that's going to kind of be where the defense is. So Matt Ryan has the arm accuracy and arm strength to put the ball right where it needs to be. He takes a few seconds drop back, sees the pressure in his face, releases the football, and just look at where this ball is placed. Really, really excellently done from Matt Ryan. There's defender here, defender here, defender here, defender here, and he puts it right in between all of them to pick up the first down. This is just an excellently thrown ball. It's a well-thrown football, and it gets the job done here to pick up the chains for the Falcons. And it's all about the quick reads and the quick decision making, and Matt Ryan has that. And I think that's something that Carson Wentz really lacked last year. Tried to almost go with the home run ball every time for that Colts offense, and that's why in some games he played really well, and in some games he really struggled because sometimes the home run ball's there, sometimes the home run ball isn't there. On this play here, though, for Matt Ryan, he's just going to want to get the ball out of his hands quickly. He's going to see the tight end here in Hayden Hurst, get into the seam right here, and that's kind of the route that he's running in this play right here. He's going to run that seam route and kind of curl back to try and get open. It's a pretty common tight end route, and that's what he's going to do, right? He's going to find it, and then Matt Ryan's taking a small, a 3-step drop here and firing off his back foot with power right before any of the defense can really get to him and pressure him. Fires it at Hurst, and then you see how Hurst has all this empty space to go up and make a play here. So that's kind of what Matt Ryan does best. Finds his open receivers and has a powerful arm to get it there. Great in the quick decision making, and overall just really, really solid when he gets the ball out of his hands really quickly. So, I think that Matt Ryan fits really well with this Colts offense. And I'm trying to think about, Phillip Rivers a couple years ago and what he was able to do. And remember, Jonathan Taylor was good back then, but he wasn't, the guy that he was last season. And I think Matt Ryan is really going to have a successful season next year. Now, I think he can get back to throwing for 4,500 yards, 26, maybe 30 touchdowns and 10 picks. I think that's where he's going to be next year. The only thing that does concern me with the Colts offense is the wide receivers. They don't have the best wide receivers, especially after losing Zach Pascal in free agency to the Eagles today. And other than Michael Pittman, they're a little thin at wide receiver. I'm not going to lie. They did re-sign Mo Alley-Cox at the tight end position. Matt Ryan has had some success in the past with good tight ends. So I'm very, excited for what that connection can look like in the red zone, especially as Mo Alley-Cox was really good in the red zone last year for the Colts. But more importantly, I think Ryan just brings, veteran leadership to a very talented roster. If you look at this roster up and down, you see a really strong run game, you see a really strong offensive line, you see now a really solid quarterback, you see a really strong defense, both up front and in the secondary, and in the linebacking court. This is one of the most complete rosters in the NFL. They were missing a quarterback, and that's kind of what they've been trying to look for. Ever since Andrew Luck retired, they've been looking for a quarterback, right, to try and fill that void. That really, I guess, Peyton Manning left, because, Andrew Luck, had some successful seasons, but never, got them to a Super Bowl, never did anything like that. So Matt Ryan's the next quarterback in this long list of quarterbacks that they've tried to solve that issue with. Remember, he's 36. You're not getting peak, Matt Ryan. You're not getting Pro Bowl, All-Pro type Matt Ryan. You might get a Pro Bowl season out of him. I think he's still capable of that. But what he's going to do is he's going to take command of the offense. He's going to be comfortable in the offense. He's going to make the right decisions, the right reads. He's going to be able to make every single throw on the football field. He's going to be able to take the top of a defense with the deep ball and the deep accuracy. He's going to be able to put balls into situations and places that they need to be in. He can make all the throws that a quarterback needs to make, and he's got a little bit of mobility too. Don't count on it, right? But I think he can rush for 150 yards this year and a couple touchdowns as a scrambler, right? As a scrambler guy or a guy who needs to get outside the pocket and make plays with his legs. He's not going to do it all the time, but it's something that he can do. I think overall this is a fantastic fit in Indianapolis. I really like what Matt Ryan's going to be able to bring to this team because I think he's just a talented quarterback. He knows what to do. He knows how to win. He's done it before, and I think he can do it with the Colts. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.